Good afternoon. New at 4 o'clock, the school employee accused of assaulting multiple women on a school bus entered a plea agreement.
It was 2 hours ago we learned that the agreement was for Tyler Zanella to plead guilty to the most serious charge for all 11 victims. This plea agreement must now be accepted by the judge, and if it is, Zanella will plead guilty to those 11 charges. He originally faced more than 164 separate counts for assault, harassment, and child abuse. Our 9 News investigative reporter Kevin Vaughn was in the courtroom today. He'll have more, including reaction from parents of some of the victims. That's coming up at 5 o'clock. Now to Norman, Oklahoma, where a fire broke out at this home last week. It led to a surprising discovery for police. There were 9 puppies killed, but investigators also found out later that this was the scene of a large-scale rooster fighting operation, with many of those animals abused and altered to fight. Now most of those roosters are here in Colorado to heal. Those birds arrived at Rooster Sanctuary at Danzig's Roost. That's in Bennett. They got there yesterday.
As 9 News reporter Brianna Clark shows us, it's meant to be just a temporary location as they search for permanent homes, and the caregiver needs help.
70 roosters rescued. 68 of them survived the trip from Oklahoma to here in Bennett, Colorado. And while they now have much bigger space to live, there's still not enough room for all of them.
Hi, can I see you? Come here.
Blind in one eye.
Hi.
And scars all over.
Hi. He's an old man.
Issues that developed not because of his age, but because of his experience. He's a fighter. They all are.
And these are our guys that arrived yesterday.
They were rescued last week from a cockfighting ring in Norman, Oklahoma.
He's feisty.
Jewel Johnson only had a few days to prepare space here at Rooster Sanctuary at Danzig's Roost.
Most of them are really nice.
Her goal now is to find safe, permanent homes for these roosters.
We got our first adopter yesterday.
They still need dozens more. Each bird should be living in a coop like this one. But some are still living in cages because of the lack of space.
Just living in a kennel is no life. You know? I mean, you can't ethically house that many birds without like a full staff, and everybody has their own really nice coop like our long-term residents have here.
Stressed and a bit overwhelmed, Jewel is determined to keep these birds safe, happy, and healthy.
I'm so happy that we did this, especially when I'm holding on to each one of them, and no matter what happens, we're gonna figure it out and make sure that they get what they deserve. They get a nice home.
While they may have been bred for violence, Jewel says these guys are lovers, not fighters. In Bennett, Colorado, Brianna Clark, 9 News.
No arrests have been made after a man was shot and killed on an RTD bus. It happened Saturday night. Police say the shooting happened as the bus was driving through West Denver near Federal in Mississippi. Another person also suffered from non-life-threatening injuries, but investigators haven't shared any details as to what may have led up to the shooting. But they do ask that anyone with information to please contact Denver police.
Wolf Creek Pass in southwestern Colorado is back open after a rock slide earlier today. About 9 this morning, CDOT closed Highway 160 between Pagosa Springs and South Fork. Crews shared pictures of the rock and debris covering the road. No cars involved, thankfully. It took a little more than 2 hours for CDOT to clear the road and reopen to traffic. We're taking a live look outside this afternoon. We're in for a stretch of this. Some nice weather after a really gorgeous weekend. Everyone was out and about, walking around. It's so warm, and I guess it's always warm before the storm, Tom.
Well, that's
I've
often
heard
what
that.
the Chris Bianchi, who really does put the meat in meteorology. He explains to us why
there was an A there too.
Yeah.
Meat and meteorology. Okay.
You never heard that about Chris?
No, I didn't.
But the warm before the storm has us up in the 60s again.
The meat in the meteorology. I like that. I was thinking more Mets, as in, Tom, you grew up on Long Island, the Mets, the New York Mets. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, but, the Met in meteorology doesn't work, though.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Not that the meat in meteorology works either. It's a dumb thing to say. That's why I thought I'd say it and leave you guys out of it.
I love
and
that.
We're hanging on to it, aren't we, Chris?
I guess my other nickname is Crispy Donkey too, so I guess it kind of fits in. So
it's all good.
It's all good, and by the way, the weather is all good as well with those sunny skies, blue skies overhead. And by the way, today, yesterday, our warmest days in about 6 weeks for us here in Denver. Last time we got up to 60 or above before yesterday was just December the 19th. But today and yesterday, we got up to that 60-degree mark here in Denver. Right now, we're in the upper 50s for us here in town. We topped out at 60 officially at DIA. Look at this in Springfield and Bucks County, 74 degrees on your January the 29th. Most of what you're looking at here, about 15 to 20 degrees above our seasonal average. And tonight, we'll stay on the mild side. Temperatures only drop down to around freezing for us here in town tonight. Mostly clear skies. Tomorrow, even warmer than today. You might have noticed a few of those clouds this morning. I think tomorrow we get more sunshine. That should get us a couple degrees warmer than today with mostly sunny skies ahead. So those highs for tomorrow, another gorgeous day ahead. Low to maybe even mid 60s for us. Again, those observed highs we saw today. So we'll make 3 consecutive days at 60 or above for tomorrow. And then Wednesday, Thursday staying in the 60s. And then Rutro this weekend looking active with the potential for a significant storm for us here in Colorado. I'm going to have details on this and put some of that context into all those snowflakes that you're seeing here on your screen. I will put some context into that, tell you what you can kind of expect coming up in my full forecast.
We definitely want to hear that. Thank you, Chris. Right now, more than 4,000 migrants are being sheltered in Denver. According to the city's dashboard, 54 people arrived in the city yesterday after another 33 arrived today. Because of the influx of the arrivals, Denver Public Schools is asking for more support from the Colorado Board of Education. In a monthly update presentation on Friday, DPS says they've seen 350 new students since December 11th. And this comes at a time when the district normally sees a slight decline in enrollment over the holiday break. In their report, DPS added the pace of new arrivals has not yet slowed. In the second week of January, the district saw the highest number of new arrivals enrolling since August. DPS is calling on the Board of Education for funding support per student. The district is also adding new bus routes to meet the increased need for transportation, and they're seeking grant funding to expand food resources.
JetBlue Airways may be backing out of the controversial deal to acquire Spirit Airlines. JetBlue saying over the weekend it might reverse out of a $3.8 billion acquisition deal. Of course, a federal judge blocked the deal. Now the announcement coming just a week after JetBlue and Spirit said they would appeal that decision. Spirit now says it disagrees with JetBlue, believing there is no basis for termination of the deal. Hundreds of people are going to be laid off at REI. The company says it's bracing for revenue declines. The company's CEO sent a letter out in the company last week saying that the workforce would be reduced by more than 350 people, including 200 at its headquarters. Cuts will also be made at distribution centers. The CEO says those who will be laid off will also get a severance package. It's unclear when those layoffs might happen. It also follows cuts from last year when REI laid off more than 440 people. As we head towards February, it becomes that time of the year when tax season really gets underway for many people.
Have you seen the little notices and flyers and things and
Plenty of people offering to help.
Yeah. Really? The Internal Revenue Service is now accepting and processing 2023 federal income tax returns. You now have until April 15th to file. People who miss the deadline will likely face a penalty unless you file for an extension. With an increase in funding, the IRS expecting a smoother filing season with less backlogs. They say most refunds will be issued in less than 21 days.